ನಮ್ಮ ಕಿಚನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವಾಗತ.
Only English.
Okay. Chalo, let's start with a budget recipe, a perfect budget recipe. What you need is a little bit of revenue expenditure, a lot of revenue receipts, more of capital receipts, and if it is about expenditure, that should be the amount of your capital expenditure. Hey folks, C. Rachana Ranade here, and I welcome you all to another brand new video which is about simplifying budget 2021, and in which we are going to focus on 5 sectors which got positively impacted during this budget. I'm sure everyone knows that the markets gave a fantastic response to the budget, where market moved up by 647 points on the budget day and almost 350 plus points on the immediate following day. So what was that element which was really appreciated by the market? And that element was the high capital expenditure which the government has actually declared. You can hear some drilling noises, some construction noises. That is a proof that our finance minister has given nice allocations for infrastructure sector as well, construction sector as well, and that's why maybe everyone is really motivated to build more and more roads, highways, buildings, whatever. Okay, chalo, moving ahead, healthcare sector, if I talk about, that is the first sector in focus. Of course, everyone expected a good focus for healthcare sector given the backdrop of the pandemic. If you can check out in this table, you can understand that for 2020-2021, the estimated expenditure was around 67,000 crores. And when the pandemic actually hit the country, all over the world, in fact, I should say, immediately the estimates were revised upwards to almost 82,000 crores. And for the next year, the budget estimate for this area is again 74,000 crores. So there are 3 major projects which are underway for the healthcare sector. The very first one is Pradhan Mantri Atmanirbhar Swasth Bharat Yojana, Jal Jeevan Mission, and Swachh Bharat Swasth Bharat Yojana. But before I go on to all these in detail, I just wanted to remind you that I have already made a video on budget just last week, which talks about what are the important points to check out while you understand a budget. Okay, so let's move on with the very first Yojana, which is the Pradhan Mantri Atmanirbhar Swachh Bharat Yojana. It's a big name, I know that. But the name is big, but the amount which is allocated, that is also very big. It's 64,180 crores which are to be spent over a period of 6 years. Now, what is the government going to do with so much money? The government plans to develop capacities for primary, secondary, tertiary care healthcare systems, strengthening the existing national institutions, create new institutions to cater to detection and cure of new and emerging diseases. And of course, more details are there in the fine print. In short, what I'll tell you, maybe the thought process is that you should have more and more hospitals, you should have more and more healthcare facilities, not only in big cities, but also in the tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities, maybe also in the rural areas. Now you can only imagine that if hospitals, nice facilities are built all over the place, which could be the stocks which can be definitely positively impacted. There are going to be pharma companies like Sun Pharma, Divi's Labs, Dr. Reddy's, and so many more. Let's move on with the second one, which is the Jal Jeevan Mission. Now, I think this is also a fantastic scheme whereby government has implemented over 5 years an outlay of almost 2,87,000 crores. Now, when people hear the budget, they feel that yes, allocation is good, but what are they going to do with so much money? That's what we are going to understand. The main purpose is to achieve clean water, sanitation, clean environment, and also an amazing point where the mission aims for water supply in all 4,378 urban local bodies with 2.86 crore household tap connections. You can imagine so many households will get new tap connections. With that, what will happen? People will get access to cleaner water. In fact, there is also a plan to have liquid waste management plants in 500 Amrut cities. So it's all about getting access to fresh water and also disposing the dirty water in a much safe way. Which stocks will get impacted? Eon Exchange, Vatek Vabak, Thermax, and many more. So let's start with the third one, which is Swachh Bharat, Swasth Bharat. Under Swachh Bharat, Swasth Bharat Urban Mission 2.0, it will be implemented with a total financial allocation of 1,41,678 crores, which are to be spent over next period of 5 years. Now, what are they going to do with this money? It's going to be mainly focused on sludge management, water waste management or water waste treatment, source segregation of garbage. You remember gaadi wala aaya ghar se kachra nikal. Yes, source segregation of garbage, reduction in single use plastic, and so many more. So which stock will get impacted? I just mentioned, I gave you a hint. That's anti waste management. Well, I talked about all three schemes and I hope you understood how I tackled all these three schemes. In the first part, I talked about how much funds have been allocated. Second part, we talked about the uses of these funds. And third part, we talked about the stocks which might get impacted. So let's move on with the second sector, which is automobile sector. In that, I'm sure many of you might have read about this scrapping policy. I'll quickly tell you what is the scrapping policy. If you're using a vehicle for 20 years, okay, for personal use, or if you're using it for a commercial purpose, then the threshold is 15 years. So if the threshold is crossed, that is where you have to undergo a fitness test for that vehicle. It's going to be an automated fitness test, and if the car or the vehicle doesn't pass it, it will have to get mandatorily scrapped out. If it does pass the fitness test, still the owner will have to pay some taxes like green tax and some other taxes, so that they will get a permission to run that vehicle on the road. I feel this is a very welcome move from the government, and this will be like ek tir mein do panchi. Which two? Number one, it will lead to cleaner air, and number two, it will definitely positively impact the automobile sector. A small suggestion from my side to the government, chota muh badi baat, is that I feel that RTOs or any other vehicle authorities should be so well equipped that if a vehicle has crossed 15 years or 20 years, the owner should automatically receive an email that you have to get a check, a fitness test done for your vehicle. Then and only then, I feel it will be a good implementation of this amazing scheme. Well, the third sector that we are going to talk about, which is positively impacted, is the energy sector. The very first one is Ujjwala scheme. Arey band karo bhai. Anyways, Ujjwala scheme. It almost covers additional 1 crore households. That is a target. So the whole strategy is that covering more than 1 crore households, giving them gas connections. Now you can imagine, if 1 crore plus households are given gas connections, which companies are going to be like, yes, it's going to be companies like TTK Prestige or Stuffcraft. If you remember, I covered the same point in my Stuffcraft IPO video as well. Next point, which is going to be beneficial, is the city gas distribution network, where more than 100 districts are going to be covered. New gas pipelines projects for UT of Jammu and Kashmir. The moment I'm talking about natural gas, I'm sure you might be aware about the companies. It could be Mahanagar Gas Limited, Indraprastha Gas Limited, MNGL, and so many more. The third one is increase in custom duty on solar inverters and solar lanterns. So if the custom duty is increased, then automatically those companies which are manufacturing this in India, made in India, those companies are going to get positively impacted. And which are those? Tata Power, Suzlon, Ojas Energy, Polycabs India, and so many more. So let's move on with the fourth sector, which is financial services sector. And in this, we're going to kickstart with recapitalization of PSBs, public sector banks, and asset reconstruction company. So what is this recapitalization? It's nothing but giving more capitalization, pumping more money in public sector banks. Now what will happen? If public sector banks get more money, they'll give more loans. And in turn, ideally, the profitability will increase. How much is the mandate? They are planning a recapitalization of 20,000 crore rupees that is proposed for the year 21-22. If I go on to the second point, which is about asset reconstruction company, see, if I start reading the text, it can become a bit boring and you might not understand that. So let's understand this with the help of a simple example. Assume that here is a bank and bank has given a loan of 100, and that 100 rupees loan becomes an NPA, non-performing asset, becomes a bad loan. Now this bank feels that, Are, hum kya karenge? We'll focus on our core banking or we'll focus on the recovery of that amount. So they would want to focus on the core banking and not mainly on recovery. So what choice they can have? They can sell this 100 rupees loan to another bank and or to another entity. That entity is called as the asset reconstruction company. I might be doing my hand here, the graphics might be here, so please adjust. Okay, now what happens with this? So assume that asset reconstruction company buys this loan at 70 rupees. Now you might be wondering, Are, but loan was of 100, why asset reconstruction company gave only 70 rupees? Asset reconstruction company is definitely taking some risk. What risk? If this loan, even they are not able to recover, then what? Then for them, 70 rupees is their outflow, and for them, inflow will be zero. That is the amount of risk that they are ready to take. Why did the original bank, sell it at 70 only when the book value was 100? Because for them, if they were not able to recover even 1 rupee, for them the loss would have been 100. So it's a win-win situation, isn't it? For the original bank, they at least got 70 out of 100. For the new bank, what can be two scenarios? Two scenarios: they are not able to recover, that will be bad. But if they are able to recover, let us say 90 rupees, then in that case, 20 rupees will be their profit. I hope you have understood this. It's a little bit tricky asset reconstruction point. It's a bit tricky asset reconstruction point. So just in case if you have not understood it, rewind this and recheck it. One more point. There is also an advanced concept of debt securitization here, but if I start discussing that, it'll take like another half an hour. I have explained a concept of debt securitization in my basics of stock market lecture series. So if you want to have a look at it, you can check out my website rachnaranade.com. Well, let's move on to the last point of the same sector, which is increase in FDI in insurance sector. Now, I'm sure everyone might have read this, that the FDI limit was raised from 49% to 74%. It means that अब फिरंगी लोग भी अपने इसमें invest कर सकते हैं, not to the extent of 49%, but to the extent of 74%. Does it mean that they will get full control of our companies and our people will be like, they'll have no say or something like that? No, wait. Don't do some conclusions. Important points coming up. It's mentioned very clearly that majority of the directors on the board and key management persons would be resident Indians. Okay, that's an important point. With at least 50% of the directors being independent directors and specified percentage of profits being retained as a general reserve. So they have again tried to balance it out very nicely. They have tried to invite more and more foreign capital, thereby increasing competition, betterment of quality, so many more points, but also simultaneously retaining the ownership, the say of Indian people in these companies. Which could be the stocks which can get impacted? HDFC Life, Max Financial Services, and so many more. Well, there can be many more points in the financial sectors, like if I talk about divestment or development financial institutions, but then this video will go long and long and long. So for that, what we are going to do, we are going to have a community tab post on my YouTube channel for my YouTube members. So even if you have not joined it till now, you can consider hitting that join button. So let's move on with the last sector, which is infrastructure sector. Let's start with the first point. It's road infrastructure. Construction of 8,500 kilometers of highways under the Bharatmala Pariyojan project has been planned by March 2022. Additional 11,000 kilometers of national highway corridor has also been planned. Government has also played a very smart game by declaring national highways in various states. Which states? In the state of Tamil Nadu, in the state of Kerala, West Bengal, and Assam. Why these four states? Because the elections of these four states are near. Eka dagada don pakshi. Right. Which stocks can get impacted? L&T, NCC, Dilip Bilkon, cement companies, so many more. The next one is for railway infrastructure. It is expected that Western Dedicated Freight Corridor and the Eastern Dedicated Freight Corridor will be commissioned by June 2022. Government also plans to complete 100% electrification of broad gauge routes by December 2023. I'm sure everyone knows that there are three types of railway routes, which are like the broad gauge, narrow gauge, and meter gauge. Well, let's move on with the next one, which is National Infrastructure Pipeline. Did I miss anything? Really? What? Stocks which will get impacted. Come on, now I have done a recent video on that, which was about an IPO video. Chaiya train. You should be able to recollect that, right? So I want you all to tell me in the comment section which railway stocks will get positively impacted. So let's move on with this one, National Infrastructure Pipeline. This is nothing but a speech basically our Prime Minister had made on 2019 Independence Day, wherein he mentioned that initial sanction amount of 102 lakh crore rupees is to be given for what? For 6,835 projects. Additional 565 projects were added to it, taking the total to 7,400 projects. Okay, now please understand, very important data point. So as of now, total sanction amount 102 lakh crore rupees. Total number of projects 7,400 projects, and started in 2019. Okay, as on date, around 217 projects out of 7,400 projects have been completed, worth 1.10 lakh crores under some key infrastructure ministries. And I feel Delhi abhi bahut dur hai. Large number of projects are yet to be done. So I feel some companies which are into steel, cement obviously have to get positively impacted if the government really decides that they have to pull up their socks, they have to complete these projects in time. Now let's move on to the final part, which is asset monetization. I'll try to explain this with the help of a simple example. Assume that this is a company which is near Pune and which is a government company. Okay, at one point of a time, it was an apple of the eye for the government. It was a very much dear company for the government. But as and how time passed by, the company started to lose its charm. And today, what the position of the company is that they are not able to generate sufficient revenue. In fact, government has to pay out of its own pocket to service the salaries and other expenses of this company. Now, instead of such running such a company, the government thought, why not monetize these assets? Now, what do you mean by that? Let's take an example again in this same company. Assume that this company has a huge piece of land. Now, what can the government do? Government can say that this piece of land is idle right now. Why not give it on a lease and earn some money out of that? Earning some money out of that is nothing but getting some monetization out of the asset. And this is nothing but asset monetization. I hope you have understood this simple concept. Now the big question, why asset monetization is necessary? Government is doing this because they say that we want to really achieve our dream of $5 trillion economy. If they want to achieve this dream, they have to ensure that all their assets have to perform well, all their assets have to get well monetized. In an Indian cricket team, when I was small, we used to say that if Sachin Tendulkar is out, then entire team, we are definitely going to lose the game. But now we are not that old team. Why? Because every asset performs, every human asset performs, right? The same logic is applied by the government, that all our assets, if they are monetized in the best possible way, we will be in a position to achieve our $5 trillion economy dream. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this video. It was a big task to sum up this budget. If you have liked this video, this detailed video, please don't forget to share this with your friends, with your family, with your relatives, whoever. And till then, take care. Jai Hind and